For decades, the world's attention has been fixated on the vast Indo-Pacific. Analysts, strategists, and military thinkers describe it as the stage where the United States, China, and India will define the balance of power in the 21st century. But beneath the noise of this narrative lies another truth. For India, the most immediate, most critical, and most decisive maritime theater is not the Pacific, it is the Arabian Sea. This narrow stretch of ocean, bounded by India to the east, the Arabian Peninsula to the west, and Pakistan to the north, is the heart of India's naval future. It is the gateway to our trade, the corridor for our energy, and the front line against threats both near and far. The Arabian Sea is where India's dominance is not just possible, it is inevitable. And in this video, we will break down exactly why. We will look at geography, trade, and energy arteries, the rising challenges from Pakistan and China, and finally, how India's naval modernization is shaping a future where New Delhi becomes the unchallenged naval hegemon of these waters. So let us begin with the geography of power. Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music. In naval strategy, geography is destiny. No amount of aircraft carriers or submarines can change the cold, hard facts of coastlines, chokepoints, and bases. And in the Arabian Sea, geography overwhelmingly favors India. India's western seaboard stretches from Gujarat in the north to Kerala in the south, a massive coastline that gives the Indian Navy an unparalleled forward presence in the Arabian Sea. Compare this with Pakistan. Its entire coastline is barely 1,000 kilometers, hemmed in by deserts and vulnerable ports. But it goes beyond just length. India's coastline is dotted with natural harbors and naval bases, Mumbai, Karwar, Kochi, all facing the Arabian Sea. These bases are not just ports, they are fortresses. From them, India can launch carrier strike groups, submarines, and maritime patrol aircraft deep into the Arabian Sea within hours. Now consider the choke points. At the northwest end of the Arabian Sea lies the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical energy lifeline. A third of global oil passes through this narrow bottleneck between Iran and Oman. At the southwest end lies the Bab el-Mandeb, connecting the Arabian Sea to the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, the direct route to Europe. Whoever dominates the Arabian Sea sits astride the arteries of the global economy. And India? It sits in the middle of it all. An unsinkable aircraft carrier stretching into the Arabian Sea, a geopolitical giant planted right on the key trade lanes. No other regional power, not Pakistan, not even China, can alter this basic geographical fact. But geography is not just about offense, it is also about defense. The Arabian Sea is India's shield. Any hostile fleet entering from the west must sail thousands of miles exposed to Indian surveillance before even approaching India's coastline. Pakistan's navy is confined to shallow waters near Karachi and Gwadar with no real depth. China, even with its presence in Gwadar, Djibouti, or Oman, faces the tyranny of distance. Its supply lines are long, its bases vulnerable, and its ships exposed. This geography ensures one truth. If India builds the naval power to exploit its position, dominance of the Arabian Sea is guaranteed. But geography alone is not enough. To understand why India must dominate these waters, we must also understand what flows through them, and why these flows are the lifeblood of nations. Energy and trade arteries. The Arabian Sea is not just a body of water, it is a superhighway of global trade and energy. For India, it is the most vital lifeline. Consider this. More than 80% of India's crude oil imports come from the Gulf, from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE, and Iran. Every single drop of this oil travels by tanker across the Arabian Sea before it reaches Indian ports like Jamnagar, Mumbai, or Kochi. Cut these routes, and India's economy grinds to a halt. It is not just oil. LNG shipments from Qatar power India's industries and cities. Container ships carrying electronics, chemicals, and raw materials cross these waters daily. The Arabian Sea is India's economic bloodstream, and it is not only India. For Europe, Japan, and even China, the Arabian Sea is a transit corridor. Oil bound for East Asia passes through Hormuz, across the Arabian Sea, and onward to the Malacca Strait. Ships carrying goods from Europe and Africa sail through Bab el-Mandeb into the Arabian Sea before heading east. This gives India a unique leverage. By dominating the Arabian Sea, India can not only protect its own lifelines, but also hold influence over the energy and trade flows of other great powers. This is why the Arabian Sea is not a secondary theater. It is a global artery. But where there are lifelines, there are threats, and the Arabian Sea is no exception. Threats and challenges. India's dominance of the Arabian Sea is not automatic. There are rival powers and emerging challenges that seek to deny New Delhi uncontested control. First, Pakistan. For decades, Pakistan's navy has been dwarfed by India's. Its fleet is small, its coastline vulnerable. But in recent years, with Chinese assistance, Pakistan has begun to modernize. The crown jewel of this modernization is the Gwadar port, developed under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. On paper, Gwadar is a commercial hub. In reality, it is a potential naval base, a foothold for China's navy in the Arabian Sea, right at India's doorstep. Pakistan is also investing in submarines, with Chinese help, to challenge India's surface fleets. Its strategy is classic sea denial. It cannot dominate the Arabian Sea, but it can try to disrupt India's dominance. Second, China. The bigger challenge. The People's Liberation Army Navy is expanding at a pace never seen in modern history. From carriers to destroyers to nuclear submarines, China is building a blue water navy designed to project power far beyond its shores. China's strategic entry into the Arabian Sea begins with Gwadar, but it does not end there. In Djibouti, at the mouth of the Red Sea, China already operates a naval base. In Oman and the UAE, it is deepening its footprint through economic and military ties. Slowly but surely, Beijing is weaving its own string of pearls around the Arabian Sea. The danger is not that China will outgun India in these waters overnight. The danger is that China will create enough bases, enough presence, and enough leverage to complicate India's dominance. A single Chinese submarine docking in Karachi sends a signal. A task force patrolling near Hormuz raises questions. The plan does not need to win, it only needs to disrupt. Third, instability from the West. The Arabian Sea borders some of the most unstable regions in the world. Yemen, Somalia, Iran. Piracy, terrorism, and proxy conflicts spill over into these waters. Indian naval vessels have repeatedly escorted merchant ships threatened by Somali pirates. In a crisis with Iran, or in the event of Gulf instability, India's sea lanes could be caught in the crossfire. Together, these threats form a complex challenge. Pakistan with its sea denial tactics, China with its creeping naval presence, and regional instability with unpredictable shocks. But here lies the opportunity. For India, dominance is not just about having ships. It is about being able to secure the trade arteries, deter Pakistan, counter China, and stabilize the region. And in all of these, India has one decisive advantage: its naval edge. Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music. India's naval edge. In the contest for dominance of the Arabian Sea, India begins not from a position of weakness, but of strength. Geography has already placed New Delhi in command of the battlefield. What remains is how India wields its naval assets. Let us begin with the crown jewel, aircraft carriers. ENS Vikramaditya and ENS Vikrant represent India's ability to project power far beyond its shores. A carrier battle group is more than just a ship. It is a moving airbase, a statement of prestige and capability. While Pakistan has no carriers and China struggles to operate far from home waters, India can position its carriers in the Arabian Sea to dominate the skies and seas. Next, the submarine arm. India's submarine fleet is a mix of conventional diesel-electric boats, nuclear-powered SSBNs like the Arihant class, and plans for nuclear attack submarines, SSNs. Submarines give India the silent edge. They can threaten Pakistan's ports, deter Chinese intrusions, and most importantly, guarantee second strike capability in case of nuclear escalation. For the Arabian Sea, where distances are shorter and waters shallower, India's submarines are a nightmare for adversaries. Surface combatants are another pillar. India fields advanced destroyers such as the Visakhapatnam class, frigates like the Shivalik class, and corvettes designed for anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare. These ships, supported by fleet tankers, enable India to maintain a sustained presence deep into the Arabian Sea. But ships alone do not win dominance. What makes the Indian Navy formidable is its air and surveillance edge. The P-8I Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, equipped with advanced sensors, torpedoes, and anti-ship missiles, gives India unmatched eyes over the Arabian Sea. These aircraft can detect and destroy submarines before they approach critical shipping lanes. Add to this the MH-60R Seahawk helicopters, drones, and satellite surveillance, and India possesses a near real-time picture of every movement in the Arabian Sea. Finally, logistics. India's network of naval bases, Mumbai, Karwar, Kochi, are not just domestic hubs. Through agreements with Oman, Duqm, France, Reunion Island, and access to facilities in the UAE and Seychelles, India has extended reach. For adversaries, supply chains are long and vulnerable. For India, resupply and repair are within arm's reach. Together, these elements form a triad of dominance: carriers for power projection, submarines for stealth and deterrence, and surveillance assets for control of the battle space. Against Pakistan, this is overwhelming. Against China, it is a strong deterrent. Against instability, it is the anchor of stability. But dominance today is not enough. The real question is, how will India sustain and expand this dominance in the decades ahead? Future projection: why India will dominate. To understand the future of naval power in the Arabian Sea, we must look at trends in technology, geopolitics, and India's grand strategy. First, technology. Naval warfare is changing. Drones are taking to the skies, AI is entering submarines, and hypersonic missiles are threatening surface ships. In this environment, India is already moving ahead. By 2035, Indian carriers will likely operate unmanned combat aerial vehicles, UCAVs, extending their reach and survivability. Submarines will be integrated with unmanned underwater vehicles for reconnaissance and strike. India's destroyers and frigates will be armed with next-generation BrahMos missiles, capable of striking targets deep inland. The Arabian Sea will not just be patrolled by ships, it will be monitored by swarms of drones, satellites, and AI networks, all feeding into India's naval command. Second, geopolitics. China's ambitions will continue. Pakistan will remain a spoiler, but India is not alone. The United States, France, and Gulf states all share an interest in keeping the Arabian Sea stable and open. Joint exercises such as Malabar with the US and Japan, Varuna with France, and Nassim al-Bahr with Oman show how India is embedding itself in a network of naval partnerships. In a crisis, India will not face the burden alone. It will be at the center of a coalition of powers invested in keeping the Arabian Sea free from domination by outsiders. Third, India's grand strategy. Unlike the Pacific or even the South China Sea, the Arabian Sea is a theater where India is not a challenger, but the natural hegemon. Geography places India at the center. Economy ties India's survival to these waters. Strategy compels India to invest here first. While China spreads itself thin across the Pacific, Africa, and the Indian Ocean, India can concentrate its resources in its immediate backyard. This concentration of effort guarantees not just survival, but dominance. By 2040, if current plans stay on track, India could operate 3 carrier battle groups, a fleet of nuclear attack submarines, advanced surveillance systems, and a fully integrated maritime command network. In such a scenario, Pakistan's navy is irrelevant. China's intrusions are manageable, and India's dominance is absolute. India as the natural hegemon of the Arabian Sea. The Arabian Sea is not just water on a map. It is the front line of India's security, the bloodstream of its economy, and the stage for its rise as a naval power. Geography gives India the advantage. Energy and trade arteries make it vital. Threats from Pakistan and China make dominance necessary. and India's naval modernization makes it inevitable. In the years ahead, battleships will evolve, drones will swarm, and submarines will grow deadlier. But the basic reality will not change. India is the only power with the geography, the economy, and the naval strength to dominate the Arabian Sea. For China, the Arabian Sea is far away. For Pakistan, it is too close, too vulnerable. For the West, it is important but secondary. For India, it is everything. And that is why the Arabian Sea will not just be contested space. It will be India's space. The Arabian Sea is where India will secure its rise as a great power. The Arabian Sea is where India's naval destiny will be fulfilled. Because in these waters, India is not just a participant. India is the natural hegemon. Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble. And you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.